after the stage yesterday, Biniam wins, historical win. And he gets onto the podium and everyone's sort of on Twitter. We were all exciting, maybe not watching the podium. And then suddenly you see the news he has injured his left eye when popping the cork from the Champagne Magnum. I'm not sure if it's technically Magnum size. And this actually didn't come as a surprise that this happened, because you'll have seen on stage one, MVP nearly did the same thing. He nearly blinded himself when the cork popped and it hit him in the right cheekbone near his eye. So I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it hit Biniam in the eye. You could see him in the photos, like squinting, closing the eye, obviously in pain on the podium, and he obviously didn't want to ruin that moment. But then it came out that he's gone to hospital, and we saw him with an eye patch afterwards. So the question was, would he start today? And they released a statement, Benji, this morning to that effect.
Yes, certainly a video that included Biniam thanking everyone for all the support and so forth, thanking the team, and eventually saying that he needs to rest so that his eye can have eye power again. That's his literal words, but I love how he mentioned that. He seemed to be quite positive about it. Not necessarily, he's a bit sad, obviously, but he ended up DNSing, not starting today's stage, and probably for the better, because I spoke to some people at the team of Intermarché. For the first 2 hours, he was unable to see through that eye, so that's not good. And eventually, I think I got a message at like 2 a.m. that his eye was getting better, but he still couldn't completely see. So I think it's a very wise decision, despite me not having a doctorate in eye-related things, that he is not starting today. He's gotten the goal that he wanted at this race, which was winning a stage. He did the same at the classics with Henry Wevelgem. I think he's shown himself a lot this year, and I think, well, wonderful rider, and yeah, that statement came out, and it wasn't really a surprise when you saw him with that eye patch, even though that eye patch did not make it to the hotel from the hospital. So somewhere between the hospital and the hotel, the eye patch came off. So it can't have been like so bad.
I mean, it's a bit ridiculous, and it's like a dark comedy sketch. But when it initially happened, I was like, that's almost career ending. If you lose the sight in one eye, that can be the end of your career. And I was worried for a time, like if he literally can't see out of it, that's a real possibility. Yeah. So at least good that it seems to be on the road to recovery, and it's not that worst case outcome, but a real shame for the race. As I said, like with Biniam here with MVP tomorrow already, that's removing maybe another element from a perfect stage for him and MVP to have another exciting battle. We know how good the stage was yesterday at the end. So a real shame, and also he was probably the second favorite for Ciclamino, so Demar should walk it.
Yes, certainly, and it's perhaps a conspiracy theory, but allegedly Demar did not open his Prosecco bottle on the podium yesterday, so perhaps he knew about the danger of the bottle and did not want to tell Biniam, and therefore basically eliminated, allegedly, his competition for the Ciclamino jersey. It's just a theory that I came up with, so perhaps it's very much non-true at all, but hey, it's a thing now. And I heard that, I think Cavendish warned Jumbo-Visma riders, again, allegedly, that the Prosecco bottle on the stage is half opened already. So riders apparently were not expecting it to be half out of like the bottle already. And because of that, that might be the reason. Plenty of stories are going around, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is. I haven't drank one of those bottles yet. I don't know if it's the Giro pre-opening them and so forth that increases the danger there, but it's certainly happening more at this race than at other races.
And we just saw Dainese opening it facing away from himself, which also, I guess, eliminates the risk. But yeah, he was pretty keen to do that, and hopefully we don't see something like this again. Just weird, only in cycling. What would you do if you're in Intermarché now, assuming his eye recovers and saying he can resume normal training in a week or whatever, best case scenario, and after he has a break? What would you approach for his schedule?
I'd focus on bringing him up towards trying to win the Big Bang Tour, because cobbles and so forth, and I think that kind of fits. And then it's probably not Intermarché that's prepping that, but I'd love to see him try and win in Wollongong, because I'd argue his climbing's pretty good. I'd argue his sprinting after climbs is pretty good. Why not, eh? I'd love to see Biniam become world champion. Would be great. And perhaps it's early to be shouting that, but I feel like it's a race that, based on the rumors when it comes to the parkour and the parkours that already came out, fits him on paper. So I'd be looking towards those two races. I've heard people say Tour de France or Vuelta. I don't know if I would send him to the Tour de France, even though he left the Giro early. What do you think?
Yes, I would send him to the Tour because, well, it depends what you've promised Christophe. You know, Christophe's been a good teammate, but yeah, if you've promised Christophe Tour de France sprints, then that becomes a difficult conversation. How many stages suit Biniam in the Tour? There's actually a few miscellaneous sort of up and down sprint stages, but yeah,
Longwy?
I would, like Longwy, for example. And it'd be cool to see him against the big. Well, he's already been MVP here, but against Alaphilippe and Wout and all of them, that would be fantastic. But World suits him. He's got sort of Tour de Pologne, Limburg, all that sort of stuff. Britannian Classic on his indicative PCS schedule, as well as the Canadian races if they go ahead. I think World's a little bit. Yeah, I just think he's not in the category of the top punchers, and he'll struggle there. That's my only concern. But yeah, hopefully he's all good, and whatever race he's at next. I mean, he's a superstar now. Like, you look at his social media, it's just exploding. He's a proper superstar, which is awesome. Thanks as always to Zwift for supporting the Lanterne Rouge Cycling podcast. As I've said, they make your online cycling training fun. They have for Benji and myself. If you want to check out Zwift, you can go to zwift.com for a free 7-day trial through the link down below, and maybe follow them on Instagram as well to be kept abreast of the news happening with Zwift, which there's some pretty big news coming this year with Zwift.